The Galactic Military Academy had trained soldiers from 1,000 different species. Each one had a breaking point. There was a documented stress threshold beyond which any sentient being would panic, losing rational thought and descending into chaos. Every species had their limit, except humans. During the final crisis simulation, a human soldier named Captain Marcus Chin stood calmly as alarms blared around him. The entire training facility's life support was failing. The oxygen levels were dropping. The temperature was plummeting. By all calculations, everyone in the simulation would be dead in 4 minutes. Most soldiers were screaming. Some were frozen in fear. But Chen was methodically checking his equipment and organizing an evacuation strategy. Instructor Velshak, a towering Vorith whose entire body was covered in sensory organs, approached Chen after the simulation ended. The human hadn't just survived, he had saved 12 other trainees by maintaining perfect composure under conditions that should have induced complete psychological breakdown. "How did you remain calm?" Velshak demanded. "Our psychological models say you should have panicked 3 minutes ago." Chen shrugged. "I didn't feel panic. Just focus." This answer troubled the instructors deeply. They brought Chen to the medical analysis chamber and requested his complete biological and psychological profile. What they found was shocking. Dr. Shankor, reviewing Chen's file, began to understand. "He's had 17 surgeries." "Yes," Chen confirmed. "Nothing unusual for my age." "Nothing unusual?" Dr. Shankor's crystalline form flickered with confusion. According to his file, this human has experienced acute appendicitis at age 8, requiring emergency surgery. A compound fracture of the left femur at age 14. Acute pneumonia at age 21. Cardiac arrhythmia at age 32. And numerous other life-threatening conditions. She turned to face Chen. "You should have died at least 5 times. The stress alone should have caused permanent psychological damage." Chen nodded calmly. "That's Earth for you. We get sick a lot. We get hurt a lot." Commander Zexkath, reviewing Chen's early medical records, felt something like horror. When he was a child, 8 years old, he underwent emergency surgery. A surgeon cut into his abdomen while he was unconscious and removed part of his internal organs. He was alone, afraid, and powerless. This is documented trauma. "Yes," acknowledged Dr. Vexthar, the oldest medical officer in the facility. "But this is where you must understand the human psychology. Every human goes through this. Every single one." He pulled up a statistical analysis. Humans experience illness as children. They experience injury. Many experience broken bones, infections, and life-threatening conditions. And crucially, and this is the key insight, they survive these experiences. Their bodies recover. They learn, at a very fundamental level, that trauma can be survived. Dr. Shankor began to comprehend. "You're saying that humans are immunized to panic because they've already experienced life-threatening situations and survived?" "More than that," Dr. Vexthar explained. "It's not conscious memory for many of them. It's written into their neurochemistry. When a human faces a crisis, their body releases specific chemical compounds, adrenaline, cortisol, and others. These are stress hormones, yes. But they're also survival chemicals that humans have learned to function optimally under." He displayed Chen's neurochemical profile. "Notice his baseline cortisol levels? Slightly elevated compared to most other species. His body is in a mild state of constant preparedness. Not panic, just readiness. Because humans have evolved in an environment where danger is constant and unexpected. A human body that could panic easily would never survive childhood on Earth." Chen added quietly, "I got pneumonia when I was 21. I couldn't breathe. I thought I was dying. But I didn't panic. I just did what needed to be done." Got to a hospital. Let the doctors help me. Survived. My body learned that suffocation doesn't mean death if you stay calm and get help. Commander Zexkath pulled up Chen's psychological profile. His stress response during the simulation showed elevated heart rate, elevated blood pressure, increased alertness. But his decision-making capacity remained intact. Most other species profiles show cognitive degradation starting around the 40-second mark of extreme stress. Chen showed no degradation. Because humans are built for this, Dr. Vexthar said simply. Not consciously. But biologically, psychologically, neurochemically, humans are optimized for surviving crisis. They've been shaped by millions of years on a world that constantly tried to kill them. As children, they experience enough medical trauma that their nervous systems learn, panic is not survival. Calm assessment is survival. Dr. Shankor reviewed Chen's file one more time, focusing on a particular entry. At age 16, he experienced acute appendicitis again, a recurrence. He knew what was happening. He knew he'd survive it. He reported going to the hospital with barely elevated anxiety. Exactly, Chen confirmed. The first time, I didn't know what was happening. I was terrified. But I survived. The second time, I already knew the outcome. Just had to get through it. The instructors exchanged glances. They were beginning to understand why humans had such an unusual military advantage, not strength or speed, but something far more valuable in combat situations, the inability to panic. Velshak made a final note in his report: humans do not avoid panic through training or discipline. They avoid panic because their entire biology has been shaped by a world that demanded survival under constant threat. Every human who reaches adulthood has already survived enough medical emergencies, injuries, and illnesses to have learned at a cellular level that panic is counterproductive. He looked at Chen with something approaching respect. Your species didn't develop the ability to stay calm in crisis. Your species was forged in crisis. Your bodies don't panic because they remember, on a level deeper than consciousness, that panic is a luxury you cannot afford. Chen simply nodded and returned to his quarters. By the next morning, he was already helping other trainees process the simulation, his calm demeanor somehow infectious, teaching others through example what Earth had taught him through experience. The instructors updated their training protocols that day. They added a new section: human psychological resilience, learned through survival, not through training. And they made a note in the Academy database: when humans say they're fine, they probably mean it. Their definition of fine is simply different from every other species in the galaxy.